Hi and welcome back with another video tutorial. In this video we will be looking at how we can create skin texture for our face and body and how we can paint it using polypainting. So for painting skin texture, what I usually do is change my stroke to spray, and let me show you a difference as well. So what's the difference here for the stroke painting? So let me paint a generic skin color. So you can see that my material has been interfering with the my face color. So what I usually do for painting is I isolate my face and I change the material to skin shader, because you can see that now the color is more closer to the color I have selected here. So this is what I usually do, and you can see that for spray, if I right now spray onto it, so right now Z add has been checked on, so let me turn the Z add off and select the RGB, and you can see that this spray is creating a variation of red on top of my model. And we can also select some color spray here as well. And what color spray does is it will paint a range of reds as well, and you can see that the color is blending through. So if I increase this color range slider here, you can see that it's painting different colors here as well. So let me just reduce the color range to 0.2, which was the default. I can also take the placement. The placement is how close or how far it sprays an instance. So let me reduce the placement to 0.7, and the scale is the scale of the scale variance of the spray dots. So it is also very important. So you can see the skin textures have a lot of noisy or details. So what I usually do is I select this alpha as well, which adds more breakup onto it. You can see that it's not right now my brush is super sharp and it's adding a lot of points here as well. So for the color theory, what I do is so let me just reduce my polygon because it's kind of slow. My brush is lagging. Yeah. So you can see that right now I'm adding some red color onto the cheeks area, and I'm adding red on the nose. So in this pass, what I usually do is I overpaint my colors, because in Zbrush we don't have the layer system like in Substance Painter or some other texture painting tools. So I will be adding some red near the eyes, and you can see that right now it's kind of the distance is way too much. So I will be reducing my lazy step. I reduced lazy step on almost all of my brushes because it better suits my personality and how I want to add colors onto my mesh. So you can this change is optional. You can do if you want, if it feels a bit weird onto your model. So you can see that I'm adding small amount of reds everywhere, but there are some places where I am adding red in very high intensity, and these are the places where we have most of our blood vessels. I will be adding some other colors as well, but for now I think I will be adding this really high intensity red onto my mesh. So you might be thinking that it doesn't look like skin for now, but it will, because sooner after painting this color pass we will be doing a blending pass on top of it. So right now you can see that I will be painting a cooler blue, where I want to show that there are shadows, or there are some veins in my skin. So you can see that I'm painting a very cooler blue uh, in the eyelids where there are shadows, or where the shadows are pretty visible, and I will be painting it on the jawline, because for men we have facial hairs and there are a lot of shadows here. And after that we will be mixing those colors together. And right now you can see that it is looking pretty weird, but you should always overpaint this pass, because right now you can see that I'm also overpainting it. And so the third pass is about adding yellows. So we should add yellows where we think that the skin is closer to the bone, like this mandible area on top of our head. So you can see that I'm adding yellow color here, and I will be adding some yellow color here as well, and we will be adding some here, because we have this nasal bone here as well. And we will be adding some yellow color onto this edge of the mandible or the jawline. So you can see that I have just poured some colors on top of my mesh, and right now it looks weird. So what I will be doing right now, I will be selecting my original color, and I will be painting on top of it and blending all those colors back in. So usually when I'm blending my colors back, I spend a lot of time. Usually when I'm working on blending, I spend a lot of time and gently nudging those colors back in, and you can see that I'm already doing it. And I'm trying to retain the intensity variation, because I don't want those color to be that intense on some places. And for after that I will be adding some different passes of colors, like the freckle pass, or some adding a purple color on top of it as well. So you can still see a lot of intensity of the color here as well. So I will be just reducing my intensity and do a color fill object 2 to 3 times. Maybe just one more time. Yeah. And you can see that we have this really cool texture going on, and I can spend just a bit more of my time, so adding some freckles or some other stuff with. So right now it's big, so let me select a smaller alpha like this. You can see that I'm adding some skin pore details. I can also add some other color variations, like I can add a purple in the eyes. So I should have added the purple in my other pass, like the where I was painting color in high intensity. So yeah, let me change my alpha. Yeah, the intensity is way too low, so let me bring it up, because I wasn't able to see that. So you can clearly see the variation and the amount of variation we have onto our mesh. So I'll be adding some brown as well here on top of my upper eyelid, on top of my nose as well. So we can do all types of variation, and we can spend our amount of time onto our poly painting and get a variation. So if you don't want to see this light and all that stuff, you can just clearly go to your flat color and see the texture. So right now this is the texture that we have painted, and we can clearly spend some more time and adding more details onto it. But this definitely, so this is the basic material, and if we have painted on this basic material, we won't be able to see the color that correctly. So that's why I changed it to the skin shader, and you can clearly see that this looks nice, and we can spend some more time adding more textural details. So in the next video we will be looking at how we can add the color values or the texture onto our skin using maps and images. So hope you liked the video, and see you in the next video.